Now Austria for the resumption of the first round of the Austrian Darts Open, event number 7 of 12 on the PDC calendar on the European Tour. £25,000 top prize here this weekend, featuring some of the biggest names in the world of darts. Michael van Gerwen, Peter Wright, Mensur Suljovic, the top player from Austria. And what today, this opening day, could turn out to be for the Austrians. Already we have seen Zoran Lerchbacher make it through to the second round. Christian Kallinger joined him this afternoon, and tonight is the night of 1,000 RJ rods. There are so many of them. The Roby John Rodriguez clan, his younger brother Roxy James and his even younger brother Rusty Jake, like a series of Russian dolls, all virtually identical but slightly smaller, and all of them throw a mean dart. Can they all book their places in round 2 of the Austrian Darts Open? Not just the RJ rods.
First leg is Dirk to throw first. Game on.
We have got the new sensation of PDC darts, Rob Cross, taking on the veteran Andy Jenkins. Vincent van der Voort in red-hot form at the minute. He's on the way, but we start with Big John Henderson against the equally as big Dirk van Duijvenbode with his understated walk-on. Paul Nicholson alongside me, Dan Dawson, in the commentary box for the opening game of the night. We've got 8 on the way for you, and it's Hendo versus the Titan in the opening game.
140.
A somewhat titanic clash indeed to start the evening session. We had some very cagey games in the afternoon session. I think we're about to go into another gear with some very good talent tonight. I am excited about this game. I'm also very excited about the onslaught of Rodriguez's later on today.
Looking forward to seeing Rusty Jake in particular. We have seen Roxy James and Roby John a number of occasions, but Rusty Jake, just 16 years old, won a senior title
41
in the BDO, aged just 15. That is younger than Michael van Gerwen was when he won his first senior title. Rusty Jake winning his first development tour title this year as well, but it's all about John Henderson at the minute, who's gone off with 3 140s after another to leave 81 after the first 9 darts of this opening game of the evening.
100. John, you require 81.
Impressive beginning to the match for Big John. Will be culminated with a double 12.
57.
No worries though. DVD not on a finish.
He will be now.
140.
Decent one as well.
John, you require 24.
Hendo for a break of throw, double 12.
Game shot on the first leg, John Henderson.
Tidy.
Second leg is John to throw first.
Very tidy.
Game on.
And that's exactly how you want to start a match against a dangerous opponent, someone who's been playing very well the last few weeks.
Yeah, he has. Dirk van Duijvenbode, he's been around for a number of years. And
44.
I think Barney sponsored him for a while. I'm not sure if they still have any sort of formal relationship, but he's evidently got a talent. He made a number of finals on like the Challenge Tour and the Youth Tour, Development Tour as it is. He's just too old this year to play Development Tour, so it's all on the Senior Tour for Dirk van Duijvenbode now.
95.
He never actually won any of those titles, did make a number of finals. But the last few weeks, he has played some pretty good stuff. He
60.
was on the verge of making quarter-final in one of the Pro Tour events. He was really good last time out on the Euro Tour, and mismatched darts to beat Mensur Suljovic as Hendo fires in the first 180 of this one.
Got a feeling it won't be the last either. The way John's been grouping those darts together the first couple of legs, it's pretty ominous stuff from the Scot.
$82
leaves him 100.
We're talking about young players. When
57.
DVD was trying to get through to this event, he actually took out Nico Bloom, youngest player ever to play on the European Tour. Double 10 for Big John.
80.
Still, just like the first leg, doesn't have to worry. Got some breathing space.
But again, van Duijvenbode is going to get himself down to a finish.
John, you require 20.
Double 10 for 2-0. Slide in alongside it. Just like that,
John Henderson.
2-0.
The leg Dirk to go first. Game on.
I get the feeling you've seen John Henderson do that before, Dan Dawson.
Well, I think we all have. I remember John Henderson's
100.
best run on the European Tour. Did that in Munich, went all the way to the final, pushed Michael van Gerwen in that final when it looked like he was going to be absolutely destroyed at one point, but did push him all the way, narrowly missing out on the first European Tour crown. But John Henderson, he can have these days and weekends. You talk to Gary Anderson rates Hendo so high. And it's not just some sort of Scottish solidarity. He has seen Hendo do
95.
things on a dartboard that defy belief.
I'm pretty certain John Henderson would say the same about Gary.
Well, yeah, I think most people would.
100.
John's so well respected in Northern Scotland. I think about other people who have played in the blue and white.
Dirk
the
van
greats.
167.
John Henderson has got that kind of respect in the Aberdeen and Inverness area. And I know that Jamie Bain, who played so magnificently this afternoon, looks up to the big man so much.
Well, I was going to say exactly that. Jamie Bain, the standout performer today, averaging just a fraction shy of 100 and a 6-1 demolition of the former Lakeside World Champion Christian Kiss.
50. Dirk van 106.
Talking with Jamie earlier on, he was talking about the sheer number of talented players there are up in the north of Scotland. And that the leagues there, the local leagues are thriving. Just dozens and dozens of teams. As Hendo looks at a 160, and what a check out this would be. An absolute heartbreaker for Dirk van Duijvenbode.
120.
Well, DVD had his heart in his mouth right there. Tops it is for himself. 2 10s.
30.
And all of a sudden, Hendo's favourite for this leg and a 3-0 lead.
And for another break of throw. Hendo loves double top and he pins it. It is 3-0, and already Dirk van Duijvenbode, having come into this tournament in some pretty good form, put a number of decent results together, including beating John Henderson on Sunday in Wigan on the Pro Tour. The only time they'd met in their professional career. He won that one,
45.
and he won it 6-4. Ended up only losing to Gary Anderson, who went and won the whole tournament. It looks as if Hendo may be about to exact, well, potentially some pretty brutal revenge, because he's averaging 98 as things stand. Looking to stay on the treble 20. Oh, my word. He made it so hard for himself, didn't he?
95.
But John's one of those stubborn scorers, isn't he? He just stays on the treble 20 as much as he can, just like Wadey.
140.
As long as he can adjust. And I'll echo your point about Northern Scotland. You know, the leagues are getting better up there. I know I've spent a lot of time up there in the Inverness area playing a competition called the Portland Open. A competition I've always supported. And one guy in particular up there who is the epitome of how players in that area have got better over the years. The guy called Craig Quinn. He currently plays for Scotland international team in the BDO, and a few years ago Craig was a good player, but in the last couple of years things have just got better and better, and he is one of the best players in Scotland now. And if it wasn't for people like Hendo and Jamie Bain, I guarantee that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, it's certainly thriving in terms of the just sheer numbers of participants, but what Jamie Bain was saying, that a lot of them aren't really willing to travel all around the place. You've got a long way to go if you're up in Aberdeen.
64.
And Duijvenbode's not going to take out the 164, and Henderson's on a 2-darter.
48. John, you require
Treble 20 for double 18 for 4 zip. Is it double-double? It's not, because he just hits the treble 20 and misses inside on the double 8.
He's forcing DVD to hit this. 4 19s, or now it could be a treble 19 for double 19. Not sure what the Dutch word is for disgusted.
No, but I think we can just tell from his face.
60. John, you require 8.
2 4s for a 4-0 lead. No hesitation. And there it is. Hendo is delighted.
It's like it's Dirk to throw first. Game on.
I've been reliably informed that the Dutch word for disgusted is walging.
Is that reliably informed? Or have you just said something that might get yourself in trouble?
I sincerely hope not.
Well, the man in most trouble right now is Dirk van Duijvenbode. because his average is in the low 80s. I mean, it's more Betamax stuff from DVD
54.
at the minute. And Hendo is just taking advantage. Winner of this one faces Benito van der Pas, the number 5 seed, a man who, well, he was within
41.
a dart or two of winning one of these European Tour events this year. Averaged 110 in the final and still somehow managed to lose to Peter Wright in an astonishing climax in Saarbrücken.
140.
Both guys won 2 games to qualify for this stage. I mentioned earlier that Dirk beat
45.
Nico Bloom, and that was in the final to get here. Before that, he beat Marvin Esser by a score of 6 games to 3. John Henderson took out Ryan Palmer of the southwest of England, and then he took out the Brazilian Diogo Portela.
140.
Diogo Portela, the first Brazilian to play European Tour dart. Looks like Dirk's going to get a leg on the board here.
98. Dirk, you require 84.
He's only had 2 darts at double so far. Oh, how about this? Oh,
68.
the old double finish when your opponent's not even halfway down from 501. Dirk van Duijvenbode trying to turn on the style, perhaps try and get something going for himself.
95. Dirk, you require 16.
Hendo's left a bogey number.
Game
So
shot
no
on
real
fifth
pressure,
there.
and Dirk van Duijvenbode takes advantage. He does get a
John
leg.
to throw first.
There will be no whitewash. Not seen one today. The biggest win was that Jamie Bain victory over Christian Kist, a 6-1 defeat of the Lipstick.
137.
And John can't afford to take his foot off the gas here, because we've seen on many occasions when people get a lead, 3 or 4-0,
108.
they can relax a bit. Your opponent starts to get into the match. John has got to keep his foot on the gas here.
Well, if Dirk can hit the sort of
66.
form that we saw against Mensur Suljovic last time he played in the European Tour, where, all right, he lost, he did miss match darts, but he was smashing in the 180s. I think he hit 7 in that game. Ended up losing 6-5, but it was as well as I've seen Dirk van Duijvenbode play. If he
81.
can go through a little purple patch like that in this game, there is no question he can get himself back into it. Well, you see, it's the second time he's done this. He's fired one into the 60, and I don't know if he maybe doesn't like the lie so much.
81.
I've got a funny feeling that the darts are flying differently on the stage than they were in the practice room. Sometimes when the dart goes into the 60, it doesn't go in at an angle where you can group them together. It might go in a bit flat, a bit too upright, and I think with the way that I'm seeing his darts going in, they're not as upright as usual. Now the practice room, which is
89.
not that far from the stage,
It's just
stage right, it's a little bit colder in there, but inside that hall, it's a lot hotter, and that does affect the flight of the dart.
Well, all of these guys did have a chance to come and throw on stage. I actually watched Dirk throwing his practice darts on stage earlier on, but we didn't have all these people in. As Dirk gets the treble he's after,
81.
misses double 10, and Henderson has his favourite double for a 5-1 lead. And was that the chance that Dirk van Duijvenbode needed to take to get back into this match?
Game shot.
It may well have been. 5-1 to Henderson, 1 leg away from a second round clash with Benito van der Pas. He's not gone beyond the second round on the European Tour this year. This is his 5th appearance on the Euro Tour, Big John Henderson.
John's been playing steady this year.
81.
I think that's probably the right word. He's been making a lot of European Tour events. He's been winning a consistent amount of matches. I think the only thing he hasn't really done yet is put a run together. And sometimes that's all you need
95.
to galvanise or invigorate a season.
Yeah, I mean, he's been regularly getting to his board finals on the Pro Tour, winning his first couple of games and not going any further. And the European Tour keeps getting to the last 32 second round and not going any further. So he's making money. He's picking up £1,000 here, £2,000 there, 1,500 quid here. And it's good, you know, I mean, keep doing that over the course of the year. We've got so many tournaments. If you qualify for these, then you're obviously going to pick up money. And qualifying for the European Championship, there's another chunk of money. Remember, we saw Hendo have a little run at the European Championship a couple of years back. He beat absolutely smashed Roby John Rodriguez up in the second round.
140.
to make the
Dirk require
quarter-finals.
170.
But he's left 140 for the match, and Dirk van Duijvenbode, having already seen Hendo miss tops for a 160 finish, will not want to let the Highlander have a crack at the 140. But he's going to, and he may not put that much pressure on.
52.
Doesn't look like it's been Dirk's day.
Really
Hasn't been his usual bubbly self.
My word. This will be very, very high.
100. Dirk require
So, tops for Henderson for the
180.
match, unless tops stays alive, Dirk van Duijvenbode.
Eight-legged
The
John
old
going
Steve
first.
Beaton shot, staying alive. Staying alive in a very good manner. That was a great finish. But just when you think you've got your man in the corner and the knockout punch is right there,
43.
he comes back with a really stiff jab. And Dirk isn't finished because I think what he needs is just to get a bit of adrenaline going. We
140.
talked about this 2 weeks ago in Hamburg. When he had that spurt against Sulevic, he just found some adrenaline from somewhere and it went bananas.
100.
He really did go bananas, but Hendo fires in his second 180, and he might take Dirk van Duijvenbode out of the equation here.
60.
Average of 91. I mean, there's not much between them in terms of the numbers. Not really when you look at those stats.
Key doubles for you in this match?
140.
The last 3 legs, Dirk van Duijvenbode has really come back into this, but missing that chance to get the break, which would have made it 4-2, and then if he'd held as he did in the last leg and it was 4-3, I mean, such a different game. But
140.
John Henderson doing what he needs to do. 138 for the match. Not going to happen. 161 for Dirk van Duijvenbode. He's managed to take out 118 to stay alive, but this is a very tall order.
Even taller now, because he needs snookers, and he needs to rely on John
51.
Henderson not hitting this.
John, you require 38.
What looks like straight for double 19.
Getting
It's double
shot.
19,
Match.
and it's
John
6-2.
Henderson.
Big John is through. DVD has been ejected from this tournament. No more trance music for us, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, but we will be rocking all over the world once more tomorrow with John Henderson, where he will take on the Benito van der Pas machine. You can just see from DVD's demeanour with the referee that he thinks that his darts are going in at funny angles, but that's one of the things you've got to adjust to when the European Tour has a hot stage and a cooler practice room. Join us soon, folks. Next game is one of the Rodriguez's. It is Roby John Rodriguez, the eldest statesman of the 3, and he takes on the German number 2, Martin Schindler.